It's hard to be lost in time. I moved back to my hometown a little over a year ago, and of course there are things that are the same, they're very similar, and it's a solid place. It's a village that's been around for many hundreds of years. But of course there are things that are different now, and we have gaps in our thinking at all times of the way that things are and the way that we want things to be, and a lot of madness lies in endorsing the gap all the time, but we want things to be the same for a sense of security, that we feel that there are things that are stable in the world. And I think we all know by now, no matter how old we are, with exposure to all the different things and ideas and people on the internet, that we believe a lot of the time in illusions, and we know that change is a constant thing. You know, the weather changes, people change where they are, what they do, not necessarily in character, to be honest, but there are some times that you want something so desperately and that you're in such a hurry to achieve it that we can drive ourselves absolutely mad. And I'll be honest that I often get to a point where I just I want everything immediately, if not sooner, and I want it all right now, and just I want it large, and I want it grand and glittery. But honestly, one of the biggest changes that I've experienced, that I focus on, is being grateful, having gratitude, and acknowledging the things that I've done. It's very easy to discount a lot of the experiences that we've already had. And I was thinking about this on the way. I always get very contemplative on the way to my walk, and ideas surface in my mind that I think we discount a lot of the things in our pasts because they were just the done thing. They were enforced upon us in some way. And so if you think that you go through school, and if at the beginning of your life, you can go through 15, 18, 20 years of formal education, and it's very easy to discount all of the lessons that you learnt at that time. And I believe that a massive lesson that we all miss is actually how resilient we are. There are some people that get taken off the mortal coil very early, and that causes us some discomfort because it highlights the transience of life, the impermanence of life, and how fragile, frankly, it can be. When I was in London, I've not been now for a while, but when I was in London over the 20 years that I spent there, I used to go to a lot of major art galleries, including the National Gallery, that has just an absolutely stupendous and eye-watering collection of old master paintings. And it was sort of the 1700s, bit in the 1800s, there was a fashion for paintings called vanitas paintings. And it sounds like it's the root of the word vain, but they were commentaries on how time passes. So there would be lots of different objects with their symbolic meanings, and in a lot of these vanitas paintings you would see a skull, and it was to remind you that, and it would often have timepieces in it, clocks and watches and things like that, and flowers, to remind you that all the time life is passing. I'm not going to say it's passing by and you're wasting all your time, but I think these paintings, even though to our sensibilities they can seem quite morbid, well, they're actually quite uplifting if you look at it, because basically they're very beautiful, some of them. There's one, I can't remember the name of the artist, but there's one that has a very dark background but beautiful objects, and I always used to go and see this one in particular. I made a beeline for it because the colours in it were so vibrant, and it's actually reminding us all to really go out there and live life, be exuberant, be a bit outrageous. I use these words, you know, oh, I'm gonna look at this. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? The sun is setting now, you see? Capture the moments, enjoy the moments, and realise that life is an incredible gift when you allow yourself to live it as ostentatiously as you like, as joyfully and as abundantly and as hopefully as you can. Keep going out there in the world and doing great things that you love, and really appreciate just how precious and unexpected and unlikely life is, and realise that you have the greatest gift right at your fingertips.